Hello and welcome to this first lecture in this section on comprehensive project planning. In this course, Master in Construction Management. So, in this particular section, we will give you a good view of comprehensive project planning. How can you plan your project comprehensively is what we will discuss in this section. And we will begin by talking about how to develop a clear vision and detailed project plans in this lecture. So, what all does comprehensive project planning include? See, comprehensive project planning includes primarily three things. First is to develop a detailed vision and clear vision and detailed project plans, which is what we will discuss in the rest of this lecture. Second thing, what you need to do in this planning phase is to incorporate feasibility studies, risk assessments, and accurate cost estimations. And third would be then to ensure that you have realistic scheduling done with achievable milestones. So these are the three critical things that you need to do in the comprehensive project planning phase. Let us take a look at now how to develop this clear vision and detailed project plans. That is the first step, right? So how do you think we can do that? See, developing a clear vision and a detailed project plan is a is a critical step in ensuring the success of any project. So you need to develop a clear vision and a detailed project plan if you want to succeed in any project, and so be it a construction project. Now, what are the things that you need to do? Let's take a look at the various steps that can help you achieve this, right? Let's take a look at that. So first, what you need to do is to clearly define the project vision. The project vision provides a high-level overview of the project's purpose, goals, and long-term impact. And then you need to begin by clarifying the purpose. And in that clarifying the purpose, you need to answer why the project exists and what problem it solves. And then identify the primary objectives like improving infrastructure, meeting regulatory requirements, and enhancing functionality. Once you have clarified the purpose, you need to align with the stakeholders by engaging stakeholders to ensure their expectations and needs are reflected in the first draft vision that you form. And to do that, you can use workshops, interviews, or surveys to get your stakeholders' input. Then once you get that input, then you need to kind of final come to the stage of final creation of the vision statement, final quote unquote, because it can change. And while doing that, creating the vision statement, you need to keep it concise, inspirational, and focused on the desired outcome. What could be an example? An example could be to create a sustainable state-of-art hospital that enhances patient care and operational efficiency. Now, in this, see, it is concise. It has just about one sentence in so many words that you see here, which are very small. It is inspirational because we are talking about state-of-the-art hospital and sustainable, and we are focusing on patient care, right? And it is again focused on the desired outcomes like patient care and operational efficiency. So that's how you can create a vision statement. Then you need to set the SMART goals. You need to set, and there you can use the SMART framework where you define the goals very specifically. You define clearly what you aim to achieve. Then you include metrics to measure progress and success. That's an M part of it. The goals need to be achievable by making sure that the goals are realistic given the resources and the constraints. You need to make sure as a part of R that they're relevant. You need to align goals with overall vision and organizational priorities. And then set deadlines for achieving goal. Now, an example of a SMART goal could be to complete phase one construction for a 10,000 square feet facility by Q2 2026 within $15 million budget, right? So it's specific. It's talking about phase one construction of a 10,000 square facility. It is measurable. You know it's 10,000 square facility by Q2 2026 within 15 million budget. The achievability you will have to, the person who has set will have to see it is relevant because it is linked to the overall vision and it is time bound. You need to do all this by Q2 2026. So that's how you set a SMART goal. Then you construct a thorough needs assessment. And what do you do in that? You need to evaluate the requirements, identify the technical, functional, and regulatory needs, gather inputs by collaborating with stakeholders like clients, contractors, and users to gather with their requirements, and analyze feasibility, assess if project aligns with the time, budget, and resources constraint. So conduct a thorough needs assessment like this. So having defined at a high level the vision and the goals, it's time to break down the project scope. So first you create a scope statement where you define the deliverables, exclusions, what is not included, and where the project stops, the boundaries of the project. So three critical elements of the project scope. And then you develop a work breakdown structure, WBS, by breaking project into manageable components and tasks. And there you see in this construction project, there are four deliverables. And for each deliverable, you ask, what are the manageable components and tasks that is needed to be done to complete that deliverable? And then you assign responsibilities for each task. So that's how a WBS is done. Then you develop a detailed project plan. You have a middle level kind of a project plan ready with WBS and the first level, components done. And here you need to start identifying the key components of the plan, in which you create the timelines and milestones. You create a Gantt chart, a critical path method to visualize the schedule. Now, what they look like, we will show you here. And then you highlight major milestones like design approval, construction start, completion, etc. Also, in the detailed project plan, you do budget planning. You include detailed cost estimates of labor, materials, and equipment, and set aside a contingency fund for unexpected expenses. You allocate resources, assign responsibilities to team members or contractors. Identify resource gaps, that's very critical, and plan for procurement. Then you also identify potential risk and develop mitigation strategies. And they use a risk matrix to prioritize and monitor the risky tasks. Then you communicate the plans, you define how updates will be shared with the stakeholders, use tools like email updates, dashboards, or meetings. And in doing all that, you establish quality standards and metrics for deliverables and schedule regular inspections and reviews. So these are the elements and the steps in developing a detailed project plan. In this, while doing this, you need to use some project tools and techniques. The critical ones are like project management softwares like MS Project, Primavera P6, Monday.com for planning and tracking, and any other. Then you use collaboration platforms like Slack or Microsoft Teams for team communication. And also, as we will talk about, or we have already talked about, you employ build BIA, building information modeling for design coordination and visualization, right? So these are the critical tools and technologies you can use. Involve the team early by engaging the project team during the planning phase itself to gather their insights and gather their commitments, encourage collaboration among different departments to ensure all aspects are considered and you are making a plan that has commitment of everyone in the team. Validate and finalize the plan. For that, you need to do three things. Review your plan with the stakeholders by presenting to clients, stakeholders, and sponsors for approval. Check scenarios to check for potential bottlenecks and unrealistic timelines, and this way test the feasibility of your project plan and document the plan. Create a formal project charter or a plan document for reference. So that's how you can validate and finalize the plan. Then you will need to monitor and update the plan. No plan is cast in stone, and recognize that plans are dynamic and need regular updates. Use change management protocols. Establish change management protocols to adjust the plan without disrupting the progress. And in these protocols, you will need to define that if your goals change, process change, technologies, request, and strategy change, how would you go about incorporating those changes into your project plan? So you define such protocols. Let's take a look at an example in the end of a the hospital construction project. The vision, as we saw, was to build a 100-bed eco-friendly hospital by 2027. Your goal could be the complete phase by Q1 2022, 2025 under a 20 billion budget. And your deliverables could be design approval, foundation, utility setup. You could have a timeline which is shown by the Gantt chart detailing each milestone. You could have a risk illustrated here as addressing zoning delays and supply chain risk, and you could communicate through weekly updates to stakeholders and bi-weekly team meetings. So, by following these steps that you saw so far, you can create a clear vision and a comprehensive project plan that provides a strong foundation for your project success. So, what do we do next? So, having looked at how to develop a clear vision and detailed project plan, we will now look at how to incorporate feasibility studies, risk assessments, and accurate cost estimates in in the next lecture. So, thank you so much for watching this first lecture on comprehensive project planning in this course, Master in Construction Management. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions, and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.